Welcome to another exciting episode of Unraveling Intellectual Property with Michael Stein. Today, I am pleased to have Luiz Oliveira, and who I've known for many years and who used to work here at Stein IP and other places. Welcome, Luiz. I apologize for not going into all of your names. There's a number of them, but if so. Say hi. Why don't you do a
Yeah.
little introduction of yourself?
Yep. Thank you for having me, Michael. Appreciate. Yes, I have a long name, Luiz Felipe Vargas dos Santos Correia de Oliveira. Uh, and
I love it.
yes, I had to say it, the entire name. But no, so, usually Luiz Felipe Oliveira or Luiz Oliveira is fine. As you mentioned, I know you for many years. Great time, great experience, and looking forward to talk about that.
Okay. Why don't you give us a little bit about your background, your
Sure.
education experience, how you got started in intellectual property, and then we can go into what you actually did.
Yeah, of course, of course. I'm originally from Brazil, so I went to law school in Brazil, and that's by the end, I think it was second to last, so last year, I started working for the department within Universidade Federal de Minas Gerais. It's a university in my city, a very reputable one. I started working in the department of transfer, that transfers technology between university and companies and all that. So that's when I got involved with IP. Before was mostly academic, meaning reading and learning theory. Uh, so when I first came to the U.S. I first had any connection uh, with U.S. IP system after uh, after I graduated from my master in the U.S. I came for a master for a year, and in the meantime, I started working studying for the bar. I worked at a small boutique law firm in Old Town. It was a great experience too. I stayed there for about 4 years before I met Joe, who introduced me to you.
That's Joe
And
Zito for everyone out there.
Joe Zito, yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got started. The department within Universidade Federal de Minas Gerais that dealt with all the patents and applications, agreements with companies and things like that.
So you don't have a technical degree, is that correct?
I do not, no,
Okay.
no. And the interesting thing is most people, or at least at that time, most people in Brazil that dealt with IP, they did not have a technical background either. That was a
So in
big,
Brazil, to be a patent attorney, you don't have to have a technical background?
at the time, no.
Okay.
I don't know if anything changed since
Right.
then.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's how. Yeah, in fact, most professionals, and I know they were attorneys, but not necessarily with technical background. When I came to the US, I realized everybody had a technical background. So that was a not wasn't a big shock because I kind of knew that. I just didn't realize that everybody did, and and that was so I knew I had an uphill battle in the IP field when I saw that,
Okay.
trying to.
So what what are a number of the things that you've done? I know you've worked on some trademark prosecution, but rather than me say what you've done, why don't you tell the audience what you've done?
Yeah, of course. Yes, I did a little bit of patent prosecution in the beginning, but I also did a lot of reviewing agreements and a lot of litigation with Joe Zito too. We had number of cases. I worked with him from actually started working with him while I was still at the boutique law firm in Old Town that I used to work. But in 2016, March 2016, that's when I went to work with for Joe like full time. I did I did trademark prosecution too. I did patent litigation. I did trademark litigation. I did uh, contract, anything related to contracts when touches on IP. What else? Um,
Well, let me
yeah,
ask you a question. During all this litigation, what percentage, and I know you didn't work on hundreds of them, but roughly, did many of them go to trial, or did pretty much
no,
everything settle out?
no. As far
Or,
as I
or,
recall,
or I
there's a
guess
couple
what
records.
stage did they usually get to?
Um, well, most of them are settled pretty early.
Hmm.
Uh, um, well, it depends on how you depends how you think it already is, right? Um, and during that time, we had that change of the IPRs and things like that. So that was a big change too. So that extended the conversion time. Let's put it that way.
Right, because a lot of the litigation got stayed pending the IPRs, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
But well, not all, but a
Yeah,
good chunk
no,
of them.
right.
Yeah. But I do recall one trial that was, we went full trial, other two times, and that was in like four, almost 5 years that was working at just one trial was, I think it was a 3 or 4 day trial in North Carolina.
So
Um,
did you interview anyone or cross-examine, or were you second
yeah,
chair?
yeah. Joe let me cross-examine someone. I don't remember who actually, but
Yeah.
it was a very exciting time.
So
But
it,
it was
it, it wasn't like on TV where they shred the other guy and they find out that he was lying the whole time and there was that smoking gun.
oh, I for sure I did
Or,
a
or,
I
or
did
like
a
in the
no, I'm
John
kidding.
Grisham movies, there's always like, oh, the secret section or whatever like that. It wasn't like that at all.
No, no, I'm kidding. No, definitely not. It was exciting, but not in a movie way. It was exciting for us, and that was people that are working and in the case, people that like IP and things like that, but definitely not as compared to movies. But I do recall only two other instances where we almost went to trial. But I believe both of them, the case was settled the night before. The night before we were flying, before our flight. So maybe like 2 days before trial, three maybe. Uh, but that was pretty much it. That's not to say there were a good number of hearings. Most of them just initial hearings. But yeah, trials, I was just one during this whole time.
And did that actually go to a decision and then, or was there settlement right after the trial?
There was a decision by
Okay.
the judge. Yeah.
All right. And like a lot of this stuff, I assume
No,
is
not
not
by the judge, but by
the jury.
yeah, the jury.
Right. I'm guessing that during a lot of this litigation, a lot of it's procedural stuff, and it's not even relating to the substance of whether there's infringement or breach or that, or it's about timing and interrogatories and a lot of, I'll say, nonsense
Um,
or
that
not
was not
more.
my experience. There was a
Okay.
lot of that too, but we constantly reviewing the substance of our case.
All right.
Um, yeah, yeah.
I,
Every yeah, constantly. Every milestone we had, we prepared for that. Like any meetings with opposing counsel, any mediation. There are a few that went to mediation as well. Uh, uh, every every hearing, um, and yeah, I'm a little rusty on the on the terms at this point. I haven't done this in a while, but
Right, right.
um,
Without
but
elaborating what you're doing now, I believe you're in-house somewhere.
yes, I'm dealing with Latin America and you know using my Portuguese and Spanish language skills as well. So that's good. Yeah.
Well, I take it you're
And my
fluent.
culture, right? Like I deal with Brazilian counsel quite often with uh, Peruvian counsel in Spanish, and the cultural skills too are very
Do you
helpful.
find, like amongst South American countries, do you find that there's a lot of difference in culture and how you respond or how you talk, or aside from the language, or some are more assertive than others? Is there a big difference?
Yes, I think so. The more you know, the more you see the differences, right? But and even when comparing Spanish from one country to another, uh, they're very different.
Mhm.
I now can speak Spanish better in a professional setting than in a social setting. So
Professional, like the stuff that they teach you in American schools, but that no one speaks, on the street.
yeah, I haven't been practicing, and in a daily basis, I speak Spanish, Portuguese, and English. So uh, it's I ended up with much better. I'm much better now in a meeting, a professional meeting in Spanish than I would be restaurant, for example, talking about soccer, for example. They like to talk about soccer. I like soccer too. I love soccer, by the way. So
So who are you
uh,
rooting for in the World Cup?
I am
Who
looking
are you
forward
rooting
to
for?
Brazil, of course.
The trick question. I guess one of the nice things about South America, because I deal a lot with Asian clients and the time difference is 12, 13, 14 hours. South America, pretty close. Like, what's the biggest time zone difference from the East Coast in South America?
Well, the one that I deal with is you should be three. I don't. I think now uh,
Oh,
no more than two because some countries, Brazil, for example, we don't have daylight savings anymore.
right.
And when we used to have, then winter here, summer there, there'll be 3 hour different to well, most of Brazil. Brazil has other time zones, another time zone as well.
Right.
At least one other. I don't think there's a third. Yeah.
All right. Is anything else interesting that you'd like to share with the audience?
um, Let me think. Can't think of anything else. Mostly interested to know from you how things are there.
From what?
From how is everything at the office? I
Oh,
remember great dynamic, great environment.
yeah, things
I'm
are
sure it's
going
still
well. Work business is doing well. U.S. practice picking up some interesting litigation type stuff, contract stuff, even defamation issues relating to former people who were members of the same software organizations. Good stuff. And now with AI, so much happening, and we're doing some interesting AI patent applications. We just filed one that's like 140 pages, some brilliant guy, and a lot of stuff going down these days. And as I'm sure you know, Louise, actually, it's an exciting time.
yeah,
One of the reasons why I went into this business was technology is always moving forward.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Uh, so,
Yeah,
as we said just before, can't complain. And having colleagues like you and keeping in touch makes it all the much more interesting.
that's right. And I don't remember, I don't recall if it was you or Joe or someone at the time that I will say can't complain. They would say, and nobody will listen anyway. So don't bother.
See, that's a sound advice for you audience members. No one, don't bother. No one will listen. So true. Or they'll
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I hear what you're saying," and then it's kind of like when you're walking down the street and you go, "Hey, how's it going?" And like no one's listening. Um,
Yeah. No, but yeah, other than that, things are good. I have things now. I work with a good number of counsel everywhere in Latin America. That's very exciting. Um, the office is in DC, but I live an hour away by the bay, and and that's always it's good to have this remote. Uh, I'm able to work remotely. It's a good quality of life. uh, and come to DC for team meetings and events and things like that whenever they're happening. So, uh, but other than that, can as you, I cannot complain, and I will not complain.
we'll have a whole episode on complaining. Okay, I'll just get a bunch of people on. We'll just sit there and complain about clients, about cases, about life, and all that stuff. It'll be like the unraveling gripes and complaints.
Well, talking about clients, one thing I recall that that we should talk about is the difference in client styles. Not that one is better than the other or anything like that, but the I had some Brazilian clients that had very different styles from U.S.
You know what?
clients,
Because
and
we're running a bit. Why don't I get you back for a quick follow-up for a second episode, part two? Okay?
sounds
All right.
good.
Audience, thank you for tuning in, and we're going to get Luis back for part two of our discussion. And until next time.